political arguments. Similar questions arise in a political context about oppression and liberation. So we might say freeing people from oppression is valuable simply because it allows them to do certain things that they wanted to do and were prevented from doing. That's an inadequate answer because oppression can sometimes shape people so that they actually prefer the circumstances they're in to the ones they would be in if they were freed from the oppression. So a better answer would be that liberation consists in opening opportunities that one supposes people ought to have even if they don't miss their absence and perhaps don't initially want such opportunities even when they have them. So plausible claims about the badness of oppression and the value of liberation depends on characteristics of the oppressed or liberated people that aren't limited to what they want. Moreover, when we try to identify the sorts of opportunities that should be opened and which ones matter more than others, we assume that people have natures and don't simply have desires or capacities. If some opportunities seem more urgent or important when we consider the badness of oppression or the goodness of liberation. And in these cases, we don't simply appeal to what people want. The last section mentioned the virtues, and say, without expanding it, that Aristotle believes not only that claims about nature are the basis of principles about the treatment of others, but they're also the basis of claims about the virtues of character. So these virtues are not simply intelligible in the light of demands resting on the nature of other people, they are also perfections of the agent's own nature. So I've just given a sketch of some considerations favouring naturalism. I've introduced two different kinds of appeals to nature. First of all, nature provides the basis for claims about the good for, or the good of, or the welfare of a person. And secondly, it also provides the basis for claims about the goodness or excellence or perfection of a person. So I've argued that in these respects, naturalism is not only plausible, but it's even indispensable. The points I mentioned in its favour are neither particularly novel nor particularly surprising, but I hope the very familiarity of these points helps to strengthen the sort of case that I've been trying to defend. I'd be happy to have a discussion.
Thank you very much. Have we got any questions? Yeah.
Hi. When you mentioned us wanting to promote the welfare of children as opposed to their happiness, when we do that, aren't we simply promoting their ability to be happy later on in life?
Well, if you understand happiness as something like well-being as the fulfillment of human nature or something like that, then that might be correct. But we surely aren't necessarily saying that we're doing the best that we can now for adults to have the fewest unsatisfied desires of maximum pleasure later in life, since we might be able to do that even more effectively if we made sure that they kept with rather childish desires. So it doesn't seem to be simply a claim about what would maximize pleasure or minimize frustration, since there might be all sorts of ways to do that we mightn't think were terribly attractive. So I suppose that's the difference I would have.
Are there any others?
wondered, does this mean that we can naturalize ethics? So some people think that we can naturalize epistemology, i.e. stop doing epistemology in philosophy departments. If you want to know about knowledge, go to psychologists. Now we have a notion of welfare. Does that mean that our welfare consists in the good of my bodily being, so that would be bodily health, and the good of my mental health? And then if I need to know about what welfare is, I should first go and see a doctor and then a psychologist, and then my welfare is fixed. And we should stop. And that's it, full stop. So ethics now becomes a question of good and welfare, now becomes a question to ask psychologists about, and doctors.
I suppose you could draw that conclusion if you thought the notion of a person's nature was purely a concept belonging to empirical science or sort of medicine or psychology. So I don't think that it's sharply distinct from the concerns of empirical disciplines like that. But I don't see that it's confined to the concepts that belong to such a discipline. For instance, if one thinks that human beings deserve certain kinds of opportunities or freedoms because they need them to develop their rational capacities or form certain kinds of communities with other people. And we try to justify that because of the kind of people we're talking about. Those aren't purely empirical scientific judgments. They're, we can describe them as evaluative judgments. They are normative judgments and they're moral judgments. And so that's what I mean in thinking about the relevant conception of nature. So I don't think it is an exclusively empirical scientific notion in that respect. Yeah.
You said that if adults don't progress from childish desires and they can't be fulfilled, surely the reason would be that they don't understand why adult desires are better or they choose to dismiss it. So maybe it's fulfilled in their own way.
So just explain that to me again.
If, I think that the reason that an adult would only have childish desires is because they either weren't aware that why adult desires were better, or because they chose to stick with their childish desires. So surely they would be fulfilled on their own way.
Well, see, suppose you had the thought that someone would be too frustrated in their adult life if they tried to do anything that they were certain of being able to achieve. And so we don't, we aim to minimize frustration. So that doesn't leave you an awful lot. I try to aim at having only the desires that will be certain to avoid frustration. Now, if all there were to being well off or having achieved the good was having the minimum of frustrated desires, that's what we should all be aiming at.